Give a Sigga a break. Give a Sigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a Sigga a break.
What is up, my Siggas? It is I, Admin, reporting from my local trap house. I have been monitoring the situation. I've been seeing the scuttlebutt around the P320, and fellas, it is not good. It does not look good on Sig's part. Sig Sauer Inc. recently just dropped a video inside the P320 like a day ago, and so I was watching it, and I immediately thought, God, I'd hate to be this guy. I hate to be Phil having to go through this video because I know the comment section is just going to be absolutely unhinged on it. So if you live under a rock, essentially, what's happening? A constant track record of Sig P320s discharging when they're not supposed to. There is a slew of videos, man. Just video after video of either the gun going off in the holster and it hits the ground, or the gun going off in the holster and it hits someone in the leg. It's not just like a one-off thing. This is like a thing over and over and over again. And Sig has been in massive hot water over it. This has been to the point where it has hit the mainstream news cycles. Like the normie news cycles have picked up on it and they're talking about it, which is the craziest part to me.
Crazy? I was crazy once.
I think guys like even Penguin Zero were talking about it at one point. I have yet to make a video on this, and part of my thinking was there's gonna be so much coverage on it, it could just add to the noise, but it kind of reaches a point where you're like, oh my God, dude. Maybe I get on this gravy train for YouTube. Technically on managerial outcomes, we did a P320 video, and I think I threw mine. Unloaded, the trigger didn't go off, from what I could recall. That was like a silly, goofy test, and we were just shooting it. But since then, there just has been more and more instances of the gun going off. There's even the famous now case of the airman getting killed due to the P320. Now with that case, I kind of wanted to ice the kicker on the emotional reaction. I saw it, my first thought was, dang dude, I feel really bad for that guy that died. That is terrible. I couldn't imagine being the person that has to go and tell their family like, hey, your loved one is dead now. And it's a big bummer, but I wanted to wait and see what came out of it. And I think last I recall, someone was arrested in part of that investigation. So I think we're gonna keep monitoring that situation and see what comes out of it. I have heard things about it, things that don't sound good, but I'm gonna refrain from saying anything. I know that's kind of a bitch move, but it's all hearsay. I can't confirm it. It's literally like a rumor mill at this point. Probably should put this down. And so the Sig P320 situation has been an absolute nightmare. We're seeing Sig show up in gun stores for like 170, 180 bucks for sale right now. People are getting rid of their Sig P320s very fast. Nobody wants them, get them away from me kind of vibe. I think the Army or some military entity was picking up the Glock Koa because they don't want to have the 320s in their inventory. So it's been an absolute nightmare for Sig Sauer USA. Personally, whenever I heard about the P320's problem starting to pick up, starting to get rumor about it, I remember thinking like, well, I'm not a P320 guy, I'm not gonna carry one, I don't like the way that sounds. But people still had them, they were still using them. The gun shoots, it does its job, but the problem is the risk now involved with them. That's the terrifying thing, because now there's all these ranges and training entities that are like, the Sig P320 is not allowed at the class. If you show up with the Sig P320, we will hang you ourselves. So my Siggas out there can't catch a break, dude. So I watched Sig's video inside the P320, and Phil, you know, does a good job of explaining what's going on, in my opinion. It's a really professional, corporate-esque video. There's not like any, hey guys, we hear you, we hear your concerns. It's just like, they don't address anything and they just get into it. The problem I think a lot of these corporations have with understanding the gun guy is they don't understand the gun guy truly. And what I mean by this is that the gun guy, whether they know it or not, it's like they adhere to the machine spirit from Warhammer 40K. And if you're not familiar with this, the machine spirit is like an entity that is within inside all machines. Like in the lore of the game, these guys will make sacrifices to their weapons. Like the Space Marines will like offer a prayer or a sacrifice or something to their weapon to make sure the machine spirit is satisfied. There's a funny story I heard about about a radar technician's where they had a little box that they left on their radar tech. It had like some bird bones or something else in there. It was like their funny sacrifice to the radar because they were Warhammer guys. Some tech came in and saw that and was like, what are you guys doing? And he removed it, and then all of a sudden the radar machine stopped working and they were like scratching their heads. So more guys came in trying to fix it until another guy came back that got it, and he like put the box back in the radar system and the radar started working again. So the machine spirit's a thing, dude. You can't quantify that with the gun guy. Once you taint the gun guy's machine spirit, they will forever look at you different. And that's very much the case with the Sig P320. It's such a weird unspoken thing / spoken thing where if the voodoo, if the juju is bad with a gun, guys will just drop it, right? Once you start hearing bad things about it, dudes will just drop that thing like a sack of potatoes. They don't want anything to do with it. There is just something to it. And whether these gun companies say anything about it or not, like I hope they know that and how they even go about fixing that reputation, because it's pretty bad. Now, to play devil's advocate, I am a big fan of certain Sig products, especially like the Swiss Sig stuff. Like for instance, I got the parts kit build of a Sig SG510, and that thing is a work of art, but that's like Cold War era Sig stuff. US Sig stuff, I think I like the Sig MCX LTs, and I like them. I think they worked out the problems. The problem is I would not be caught dead trusting my life to a Sig P320 right now. There is just too much around it where it's like, dude, I don't trust that thing. It's giving me very bad vibes. I really don't know if Sig P320 is gonna be able to dig themselves out of this one. The Sig reign of dominance when it comes to the military contracts has always been kind of suspect. And I think a part of it has to do, you know, not being too conspiratorial, I think it has to do with the sheer mass volume that they can create. I have yet to go to the Sig manufacturing in New Hampshire, but from those that I know that have gone, they have told me that their logistical power is very, very high. Like they can make these guns hand over fist and just churn them out. I think that's one of the reasons they won these contracts. The problem is, so you have this massive contract, now it's at jeopardy because all these people are like, we have to start paying for people that get shot while they were using your P320. Like it's a nightmare. It is a legal absolute nightmare to go through. And granted, I'm just a dude on the internet, just spitballing here, but this is what I get in my gut. I was thinking about this when all the P320 stuff is just like ramping up. I was thinking about all the companies that built chassis around the P320 just absolutely being like, God damn it! Just absolutely losing their mind because they built like this expensive chassis around stuff like B&T, Flux, Strike, and any other chassis people. Because it's hard to beat that FCU. That FCU dropping in and you can throw the slide on top, that's a pretty sick deal. The problem is now everyone's like, P320, bye. I don't want to see you around these parts no mo. The comments on this, I got a beer and an extra chair. Anybody want to watch the comments with me? Brave of you would allow comments. I salute you. Which step is the one where it shoots my balls while in the holster? Sig, theoretically, it shouldn't go off. Real life P320 in a holster. Hold my coffee. A very reliable handgun. Fires 100% of the time. More than 100% of the time, in fact. You guys, dude, you guys are just animals out there. 5 things that have to happen to make sure the gun shoots. Load magazine. Insert loaded mag into magwell. Retract slide to chamber first round. Insert pistol into holster. Wait. Stoker will def roast this entire video. Did Ben Stoker make a video on it yet? Let's see. I like Ben Stoker a lot. I think that dude's pretty funny. Oh yeah, he's already got a video. Sig 320s as low as $150 as the platform circles the drain. Ben is my spirit animal. Honestly, if I found an M18 for $150, I'd buy it. It'll likely be collectible someday as the shortest lived service sidearm ever. Yeah, that is one thing I like about that, is that with all these SIGs showing up to gun stores being super cheap now, hey fellas, if you're a collector out there, steal of a deal. Snag yourself a military pistol for pennies on the dollar. Potentially, yeah, it could be worth something someday. Someone will be like, man, whatever happened to the Sig M18? As your grandkids are like looking at this thing, you're like, no, don't load it, don't holster it. Not looking well for the Siggers. Sigga, please. Man, Sigga, please. I saw on Reddit, they were like, I have been getting very uncomfortable with the use of the Sig slangs. It's like, that is Reddit in a nutshell. Yeah, any of Sig's videos referencing the P320 is a just comment slaughter fest. It is not going well. And then the Australians are picking up the P320 too. It's always good to check into the gun meme Reddits. Wyoming Gun Project recants his video about the P320. I was wrong about the Sig P320. It's the best. Blink twice if you're in danger. Yeah, I saw his video where he had like the slight insert to the trigger and then he did the whole like face when it went off.
Hello. I was wrong about the Sig Sauer P320.
I only date bold men. I appendix carry a Sig P320. I think one would think that Sig would be like, okay, let's address this. We'll bite the bullet and we really just have to get in front of this thing and say, hey guys, P320 has issues. We're gonna work on it so we can make these models as, you know, the safest guns that we can possibly ever make it, as in they don't go off when you don't want them to. I think in a legal kind of way, thinking about the legalese of that, is if they do admit that there's something wrong, that's gonna open them up to even more legal liability. So they themselves are in a conundrum where it's like, they probably know something's up, but their hands are probably tied because if they do admit it, the just legal implications of that could just be so damning where they're gonna be losing even more money. But honestly, it's like at this point in the game, dude, the cat's out of the bag. Like everyone knows. But that, I mean, if you're looking at, like as a normal guy, if you're looking at millions and millions and millions in lawsuits and just either whether it's lawsuits from people legit getting shot or from contracts being canceled and all the guns getting sent back, it's just like, dude, they're staring down a barrel of a loaded P320 right now. No finger on the trigger. Will it go off? Will it not go off? That's tough, man. I yet again can't stress to any gun designer out there, any manufacturer, I'm gonna give you the inside ball. If you wanna understand the gun guy, you must understand the Warhammer 40K machine spirit. The gun is its own entity in a way in that sense. Like it has to have that good juju, 110% reliability. Like it can't go off when you don't want it to go off. These are lethal tools. There is a lot of liability that goes into this. If your gun is not performing how the end user expects, that is absolutely unacceptable. I mean, they're giving these things to government employees. Do you realize how dangerous that is to give a Sig P320 now to a government employee? Yeesh. Even if I was that guy, like if I got issued a Sig, say you're in the military and law enforcement now, knowing about this, if you got issued a Sig P320, how does that make you feel, dude? Knowing that potentially your service pistol could just go off and shoot you in the leg? Dude, the job that you're already doing is dangerous enough. And now you have to worry about your own gun shooting you? I think mentally, that's terrifying. Like what these dudes gonna be doing now, Israeli carrying, pulling out, you know, it's like, come on. Absolutely insane. Colt made a good point off camera, is that because now they're so cheap, what could be a dangerous thing now is that people that are balling on a budget, really trying to save money, could be going in and seeing the Sig P320, and maybe they saw it before, they're like, wow, this gun's really cheap now, and they start buying them, and now people that aren't really gun savvy could be getting their hands on P320s. So that gene pool could be getting thinned out, which is another thing. I mean, if you're like a technocrat billionaire that hates humans, then I guess that's a plus, but it's just a really bad situation, man. It really is not looking too hot for Sig at this point in time. Yeesh. Like if I was a Sigfluencer, I would really want to start unhitching my wagon to that, dude. Yeah. I would be wanting to get out of town pretty quick on that one. I don't care how good the money is, fellas, I don't care. Hey, you know what, actually? I will be a Sigfluencer if Sig Sauer buys me a Panzer IV. Sig, if anyone from Sig sees this, I will be your top guy if you buy me a Panzer IV, a legit Panzer IV, or any other German big cat tank from World War II. The stipulations is that you have to pay for all the maintenance, you have to pay for the gas, and then I need the time to learn how to drive it. Probably won't take long, I'm pretty savvy in a tank, but I will be your top guy nonetheless. I will be the biggest Sig shill you ever saw. Everyone has a price. Panzer IV is my price. I'm actually selling myself short. If you get me Tiger 131 from the Tank Museum, I will be your ultra top guy. Anything that ever happens again, I will be the guy out there saying Sig is the best. I will sell my soul for that, dude. I have my price, and my price is Tiger 131. Until then, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I wanted to make a video on that, share some of my thoughts and opinions. Really looking at this from a machine spirit point of view, if you take away anything from this. I do want to thank the sponsors of this video, that being Americana Pipe Dream Apparel, fantastic young Zoomers getting after the military space and arena. If you're a big LARPer, I would encourage you to go check them out. They always have a bunch of cool stuff. I think they got in some very cool Swedish Zelt bonds that are kind of hard to come by. I remember buying one long before ever working with an AP and thinking, dang, I'm really happy I got one. Now they got those in stock. So those are well worth a niche collecting item in my opinion. So I'd encourage you to go check that out. If you use code admin at AP, you get 10% off your order. Also, Optics Planet, the optics sponsor of the channel. If you needed some sort of optical device for your rifle, Optics Planet can help you out. And I appreciate those guys for sponsoring the channel. And of course, I wasn't shooting any ammo in this episode, but the P320s were. And we have to thank Badlands Munitions for being the ammo sponsor of the channel. They are always coming out with really cool stuff. And they are a local Arizona company. Jello shocks, 85 grain 5.56, working on some 7.62 NATO stuff. Really good guys. I love them. That's all I got. I will catch you guys in the future. We will stay safe out there, I guess.